Right, good morning Year 8. I thought it would be handy to go through the answers with you to the pack that you did yesterday. A lot of you did really well, it was really good. Some of you made some classic mistakes though. We're going to see how this goes as a video. I've got my son here slurping some tea next to me and doing some colouring in, so let's hope he keeps quiet. Right, this first equation, sorry, I should probably give an intro first actually. So any equation we can turn into a graph. Now we're going to deal with straight line graphs. Okay, so clues in the title, should make a straight line. An equation links two variables, okay, in this case, the y coordinate and the x coordinate. And if it has an equation, then it will form some sort of pattern. The y stands for the y coordinate, the x stands for the x coordinate. So this one very simply means that the y coordinate is equal to the x coordinate plus 1. So let's start with the positive x coordinates first. They're probably the easiest ones to begin with. We are going to substitute each of these x coordinates in place of the x up here in the equation. So we're going to add 1 to them basically. So if we start with an x coordinate of 2 and we add 1, the y coordinate will be 3. If we then move on to this one and substitute 1 in place of the x, then the y coordinate will be 2. Okay, if we use 0 and put it there, the y coordinate will be 1. And you probably started to see that there's a pattern here emerging in the y coordinates. And you get that, it's very obvious with straight line graphs. They have a constant difference between them. So this is going down by 1 as we move to the left. So I can already predict that the next one will be 0 and this one will be minus 1. Okay, but if we substituted in these x coordinates, that would confirm that as well. So minus 1 plus 1 would be 0, minus 2 plus 1 would be negative 1. Okay, on this equation, this simply means that the y coordinate is equal to 3 times the x coordinate. You've got to remember that there's an invisible time sign there when a number is next to a letter in algebra. Okay, so we're going to times each of the x coordinates by 3. 2 times 3 would give us a y coordinate of 6. 1 times 3 would give us a y coordinate of 3. 0 times 3 would give us a y coordinate of 0. Negative 1 times 3, hopefully you remember that when you times a negative by a positive, you get a negative answer. And negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. On the last one, slightly more difficult this one because it kind of combines these two skills where we're timesing and adding something. So we're going to times first, we're going to double the x coordinate, in other words, because we're timesing by 2, and then we're going to add 3. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus 3 is 7. 1 times 3 is 3, plus 3 is... 1 times 2 is 2, plus 3 is 5. 0 times 2 is 0, plus 3 is 3. And we can see now that these are going down by 2 as we go across. Okay, hang on. There you go. Okay, so the next one's going to be 1, and this one's going to be negative 1. Okay, and the final check to make sure we've done these right is to draw their lines on the graph. And if we've done them right, they should make a straight line. Each pair of x and y numbers forms a pair of coordinates. So let's start with this first line. We're going to go along the x-axis minus 2 and down to minus 1 on the y-axis. So minus 2 down to minus 1, that's there. Okay, negative 1, 0 is there. 0, 1. Okay, and you can already see that this is forming a good straight line. So I'm just going to draw a line through those. And I'm actually going to keep my line going a little bit because it would actually keep going on and on if I could draw all of it. And I'm going to label that y equals x plus 1. Okay, next graph, y equals 3x. Okay, so I'm just going to change colour, do this in blue. So negative 2, negative 6. Now that would actually be off the grid, but it would be about there. negative 1, negative 3, there. 0, 0, 1, 3, and 2, 6. There we go. And that one is y equals 3x. Now you can see that one is steeper. That's because the number in front of x is bigger. We'll come to that later on. Okay, and then the final line also goes through -2, -1. 0, 3, 1, 5, 2, 7. Okay, and there we go. That was the first page.